Good morning. My name is Pardeep Sangha, Head of Investor Relations at INEO Tech Corp. Thank you for everyone for joining us today and welcome to INEO Tech Corp's Fiscal 2022 second quarter financial results conference call. Joining me on the call today are Greg Watkin, Chairman, President, and Founder of INEO, and Kyle Hall, the company's CEO. This call is being recorded. We will be having a question and answer session at the end of the call. You can submit your question through the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. I trust that everyone has received a copy of our financial results press release that was issued earlier today. Listeners are also encouraged to download a copy of our annual financial statements and management discussion and analysis from sedar.com. Please note, portions of today's call, other than historical performance, include statements of forward-looking information within the meaning of applicable securities laws. These statements are made under the safe harbor provisions of those laws. Forward-looking statements involve known and unknown risks, uncertainties, assumptions, and other factors, many of which are outside of INEO's control, that may cause the actual results, performance, or achievements to differ materially from the anticipated results, performance, or achievements implied by such forward-looking statements. These factors are further outlined in today's press release and in our management discussion and analysis. We provide forward-looking statements solely for the purpose of providing information about management's current expectations and plans relating to the future. We don't undertake or accept any obligation or undertaking to release publicly any updates or revisions to any forward-looking statements to reflect any change in our expectations or any change in events, conditions, assumptions, or circumstances on which any such a statement is based, except if it is required by law. We use gross profit, gross margin, EBITDA on this conference call, which are non-IFRS and non-GAAP measures. For more information on how we define these terms, please refer to the definitions set out in our management discussion and analysis. And with that, let me turn the call over to Mr. Greg Watkin, Chairman and President of INEO Tech Corp. Greg?
Thank you, Pardeep. Good day, everyone. We hope that you're all keeping safe and healthy. We truly appreciate everyone for joining us today. I'd like to start by thanking all the employees, customers, and partners of INEO. The past 2 years have been very challenging due to the pandemic, but we've come through stronger than ever with increasing revenue, products with deep technological advantages, and a global partnership with Prosecure with a growing pipeline of opportunities, including several large retailers. On today's call, INEO's CEO, Kyle Hall, will provide a financial summary of our results and an outlook for the business. But first, I'd like to discuss our monumental partnership agreement with Prosecure, which we announced in fiscal second quarter. On November 2nd, 2021, INEO announced a global partnership agreement with Prosecure EAS, a wholly owned subsidiary of Prosecure, to manufacture, distribute, and install INEO's welcoming systems. Headquartered in Madrid, Spain, Prosecure is a multi-billion-dollar company offering comprehensive security solutions to some of the world's largest retailers. Prosecure has 160,000 employees in 26 countries around the globe, including an EAS, or Electronic Article Surveillance Division, in the United States that sells traditional loss prevention scanners to large retailers. Prosecure is an ideal partner for INEO, as it has a very strong brand name, significant financial means, and an enormous distribution network. We're very pleased to be working with Prosecure, who established relationships with some of the largest retailers in the world. A partnership with INEO is a significant validation of the company's technology, and we believe that it positions INEO for substantial future growth. In the partnership with INEO, with Prosecure, will be responsible for the funding, manufacturing, distribution, in-store setup, and in-store maintenance of INEO's welcoming pedestals, while INEO will receive a monthly SaaS recurring revenue fee for operating and managing the network of digital advertising screens and providing statistical data. This arrangement will effectively transition INEO into a software as a services company with monthly recurring revenue and high gross margins. Since our announced partnership, Prosecure has been actively marketing INEO's welcoming systems under the brand name EVO. Prosecure has launched its own website and marketing campaign to promote the EVO product. Furthermore, we've been working closely with Prosecure to educate and train their EAS sales team. We've created a healthy sales pipeline with Prosecure's customers, including grocery, home hardware, apparel, and wholesale club retail chains. We've already shipped more than 20 welcoming system units destined for customer trials, including Prosecure customers and our own direct sales efforts. A number of these units were sent to several Prosecure customers in Central America, with the remainder destined for customer trials in North America and Europe. INEO expects to convert these trials to customer wins in the coming quarters, leading to substantial expansion of INEO's media network. I'm also pleased to provide an update on Prosecure's 35,000 square foot manufacturing facility in the Czech Republic. INEO has successfully completed its setup, training, and knowledge transfer to the Czech team, and Prosecure's manufacturing facility is now essentially ready to go. Manufacturing of initial trial systems for Prosecure's North and Central America-based customers will continue to be fulfilled from INEO's Surrey, BC facility, while Prosecure's manufacturing facility in the Czech Republic will be used to fulfill orders for all their European customers and future large-scale rollouts. In addition, Prosecure is also granted under the terms of the agreement the right to fund and prosecute intellectual property rights and protection on INEO's behalf. The integration of a digital display screen with a loss prevention pedestal is not a trivial matter due to the sensitivity of the RF scanners and the interference caused by LED screens and power supplies in the digital displays. We came up with the intellectual property to integrate digital display screens with loss prevention pedestals in one device. And with Prosecure's assistance, we can now prosecute any parties that are infringing on our patents. This is a tremendous validation of the uniqueness and value of our intellectual property. Over the next year, we expect to continue to work closely with Prosecure to win retail chain customers and expand our footprint across North America, Europe, and Central America. In addition, we expect to increase our advertising fill rates through our two programmatic advertising partners, Hivestack and Vistar Media, as well as through our direct sales efforts. We look forward to the coming quarters as we believe 2022 will be a pivotal year for INEO. With that, I'd like to turn the call over to our CEO, Kyle Hall, who will review the financials for the quarter and provide additional commentary for our outlook.
Great, thank you, Greg. I'm pleased to report we had very strong results for our second quarter 2022. For the 3 months ended December 31st, 2021, our Q2 results are as follows. INEO achieved record revenue of $257,000 during fiscal Q2 2022, compared to revenue of $187,000 generated in Q2 2021, an increase of 37% year-on-year. INEO achieved gross profit of $94,000 in fiscal Q2 2022, compared to a gross profit of $79,000 in Q2 2021, an increase of 19%. During fiscal Q2 2022, INEO had an EBITDA loss of $715,000 compared to an EBITDA loss of $492,000 in Q2 2021. As of December 31st, 2021, INEO had $3.7 million in cash and cash equivalents compared to $5.2 million in cash and cash equivalents as of June 30th, 2021. As of September 30th, 2021, the company had 60.2 million common shares issued and outstanding. In summary, INEO is in a strong financial position with a healthy balance sheet and revenues beginning to ramp up. That concludes my financial update, and I will now provide some commentary on the other parts of our business. The INEO Media Network now exceeds 140 locations. The company currently has a healthy pipeline of additional independent liquor store retail locations ready for installations in the coming months. We're also going to expand this network to additional vertical markets outside of the liquor stores, to other independent retailers in pharmacy, grocery, health and beauty markets. One thing to note is we expect to continue to increase the size of our independent store network at a slower pace than we previously have been, as we've shifted our resources supporting Prosecure partnership and driving direct sales opportunities with larger retailers. The independent store network is valuable to us, but our future is based on relationships with large retailers, and that's where most of our focus will be. On October 4th, 2021, we announced the contract expansion with Fields and McFrugal's retail stores. FHC Enterprises is the owner and operator of both Fields and McFrugal's discount stores, and they have over 63 locations between them in Western Canada. The FHC locations in the Greater Vancouver and the Greater Victoria regions have all been installed. However, we've delayed the completion of the other rollout within the interior of northern British Columbia. We were delayed slightly by the flooding and the landslides that restricted travel in the province, and we've postponed some of those into the new year. So with transportation routes now reopened, we're expecting to complete this rollout in the coming months. On November 16th, 2021, INEO announced the company had applied for an additional patent related to our INEO Media Network technology. This latest patent will deliver better detection range for the INEO welcoming system to detect loss prevention tags and labels in excess of industry standards, while also making it less prone to interference from ambient radio noise. The design materials aspect of the patent also makes the system lighter, which will decrease shipping costs. This patent increases the scope of our patent portfolio and provides INEO with an even more defensible position to protect the INEO welcoming system product line. On January 20th, 2022, INEO announced we had acquired the assets of e-commerce company securitytags.com from Vitag Limited, a leading Australian-based provider of electronic article surveillance anti-theft products for retailers. Under the terms of the purchase agreement, INEO has acquired securitytags.com domain name, the website, inventory, customer lists, and social media accounts. Securitytags.com is a recognized brand name and has a strong list of US-based customers who have previously purchased EAS products, thereby providing INEO with immediate revenues and potential for products cross-sell opportunities for the innovative INEO welcoming system. INEO now owns and operates the securitytags.com website with a full line of security tags, labels, and deactivators, in addition to the company's own INEO Clarity ES systems. We'll be adding additional INEO ES products to the securitytags.com site in the coming weeks, including the next generation INEO welcoming gate pedestal and the patented INEO welcoming system. Securitytags.com offers convenient, cost-effective online ordering and fulfillment for US-based retailers. Also on January 20th, 2022, we announced the unveiling of our new US-based staging warehouse located in Vancouver, Washington. The staging warehouse, which is run by a contract partner, is being used to speed up shipping times for INEO's products into the US. INEO's products are all CUSMA tariff-free as they're manufactured in Canada. However, current customs clearance times have been impacting the timeliness of our deliveries, making the US warehouse a necessity for ensuring timely delivery to very large retailers. The acquired inventory from securitytags.com will also be stored there and shipped from this new warehouse in Vancouver, Washington. The new securitytags.com website, in conjunction with the US-based warehouse facility, positions INEO as an emerging e-commerce platform for ES security solutions for retailers, with the ability to launch our products within 48 hours to anywhere in the continental United States. On February 10th, 2022, INEO announced a partnership with Vistar Media, the leading provider of programmatic technology for digital out of home, or DOOH, it's sometimes referred to in the industry. With this agreement, all of the digital display screens in the INEO Media Network, including those in INEO's patented INEO welcome systems, are now accessible on Vistar's programmatic advertising platform. Brands and marketers who utilize the Vistar Media platform are now able to purchase our unique advertising inventory located at the front entrance of retail stores. We're expecting that this will advertising fill rates will continue to improve on the INEO Media Network as INEO achieves critical mass of implementation with retailers. INEO continues to receive outstanding fill rates on our advertising through our programmatic advertising partnership with Hivestack. And we expect this partnership with Vistar Media to begin to generate advertising revenue in the coming weeks. The overall outlook for INEO remains very positive. INEO's short to medium term strategy is to continue to invest in R&D and customer deployments to create critical mass of our systems on the INEO Media Network. INEO has now entered into the next phase of our development and commercialization of our technology. We've been landing wins with large retailers and scaling up our business. Our technology has been proven out through the independent liquor store network and has now been validated by large multinational companies such as Prosecure joining our team. INEO is well positioned to expand in large national and international retailers in the coming quarters through this partnership with Prosecure. Our key objectives for the next year are as follows. One, we're going to invest in the growth of INEO as a premier media network for retail, analytics, and advertising. Two, we're going to increase revenues through the sale of data analytics and advertising on the INEO Media Network. Three, we're going to expand the INEO Media Network in key geographic markets across Canada and the United States. And four, we're going to support Prosecure with its growth and initiatives with key retailers across the globe. As Greg mentioned, we're very pleased with how the relationship with Prosecure has developed. As you can see, we're working very closely with them on all fronts, including sales, marketing, manufacturing, and intellectual property protection. We're excited by the growth opportunities that this partnership is generating. Finalizing the definitive agreement with Prosecure has accelerated our sales and marketing efforts, which will increase an increasing pace of deployments and sets the company up for rapid expansion in the coming year. Prosecure is creating a groundswell of interest and is introducing INEO's products to the retail market faster and in more places than INEO could have achieved on its own. In addition to our partnership with Prosecure, we've also built up a strong second sales pipeline. through our own direct sales efforts. This direct sales pipeline includes a large North American retail chain, as well as several small to medium-sized retail chains in Canada. The total value of the sales pipeline currently exceeds 20 million in annual revenue, including potential retail chain customers from both Prosecure and our own direct sales. We also have key industry and market trends, which are progressing in INEO's favor. Retailers are emerging from the trough of the pandemic, and they're coming back with a strong commitment to invest in technology and improving the customer experience. The retailers who had invested in technology prior to the pandemic did much better than their peers during the pandemic. And this is leading to an accelerated situation whereby technology such as INEO's is being sought after by retailers. Furthermore, data analytics are becoming increasingly more important to be successful in business, and the digital out-of-home advertising market is surging. The year-on-year growth of digital out-of-home is surpassing virtually every other form of advertising out there right now. And we play right in that. Our screens are classic digital out-of-home advertising. INEO is well positioned to take advantage of these industry trends with market-leading technology and products which will enhance the company's future growth. To this end, INEO will continue to devote resources to R&D and to deployment of and expansion of our INEO Media Network. INEO plans on continuing to innovate in the areas of integrated digital screen and loss prevention technology, improving data analytics with machine learning algorithms, adding retailer self-serve advertising capabilities, incorporating retail cash register data into our systems, and optimizing our cloud-based digital advertising network. In summary, we feel very optimistic with our outlook for fiscal 2022. Given our healthy cash position, unique distribution partnership with Prosecure, numerous customer trials, and a large pipeline of additional opportunities. INEO has now entered into the next phase of our company's development, with commercialization and scalability of our technology being the key goals over the next 12 months. I want to thank everyone for joining us on this call today. The capital markets have been very supportive of our vision and have provided us with the funding needed to pursue our goals. We look forward to providing an update again next quarter. Thank you, and I will now hand it back to Pardeep.
Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to send those in to the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. We do have a question coming in from Gabriel Young of Beacon Securities Analyst. Can you talk about any data points around how the Prosecure trials are progressing? Just some insight on that.
Yeah, so the one big data point is shipping of systems. So we've got systems going out the door almost continuously right now, getting into hands. And we've always said that, right? The first step of a large retailer taking on new technology is getting trials, getting pilots, and letting them run those in a few stores for a few whiles, and then progressing from there. So we have some retailers now that are moving beyond one store. We've got a retailer that we've done direct sales on ourselves that's now at 5 stores. So it's right, in that life cycle that we're expecting. We want more trials. We want to have more retailers with at least one system, and then growing those to multiple systems over the next coming quarters. And I think that will be a good way to mark our progress. We're getting close to being able to announce some of these things as well.
Follow-up question from Gabe Leong as well is maybe just some clarity on what hurdles need to be met before trial customers convert to larger deployments. Yeah,
it's interesting on the metrics around there, right? The base metric is, does the system do loss prevention well? That's a given. We're rock solid on loss prevention, so we check that box off. And the second one is, does it coexist nicely in the store environment? It's not interfering with other systems. It's not interfering with anything on the corporate network. All that checks that box well. And the next thing is making sure that marketing has the wherewithal to be able to utilize the screens. So they've got programs set up, and we call it a welcoming strategy. Does the retailer have their welcoming strategy set up? Do they have their messaging that's going to be on screens? Are they able to change them out frequently and within pertinent time frames, and at the with products that are meaningful to the customers? And that's probably the most interesting thing for us, that we weren't quite expecting that the marketing teams were going to be slightly slower on the uptake than the operation side of the organization. And so with the trials that have been out there for a couple months, few months now, the metrics are really around the marketing team and their performance and how they're utilizing the systems. So I think we're in good shape across the board on there. At the moment, we're not integrated with cash register data, so we're not seeing direct relation to the things advertised on the screen and the sales. Some of that is coming in the future. That will be a awesome metric to have, because then you can really tie data points together. But right now, on the general feeling of how do these screens show and get reaction out of the customers, it's been quite positive.
Another question from Gabe Leong from Beacon Securities, just with regards to the direct sales customers, the trials that you have going on with them, just in terms of more color with regards to how those trials are progressing, and also any hurdles to larger deployments for those, or so for the direct sales customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one direct sales customer we have, the large North American retailer, like I said, we're at 5 stores now. Greg and I were in the US last week, overseeing an install, because we've got a new install team working with Prosecure. We just wanted to make sure that the change of, I guess, the transfer of knowledge was there. We have a third-party partner that's helping us out in some areas too, and they're doing a great job. So it's really getting up to scale, that side of it. So that 5-store chain, wonderful. The homegrown chain here in Vancouver, again, hope to announce it soon. We have a flagship location that we've installed with them, and we have 8 systems in it. It's a beautiful location. We're hoping we can share some photos with you soon.
So that's in Western Canada, BC in particular?
In BC, yes. But they're a Western Canadian chain of 250 plus locations.
Okay. Next question from Daniel Rosenberg, analyst from Paradigm Capital. Could you please expand on the M&A strategy with security tags, being a little bit different from your earlier acquisitions? Just some color on acquisition and M&A strategy.
Yeah, I think from the get-go, Greg and I, we've been quite opportunistic. Things come our way, we analyze them, we evaluate them, and we move fairly quickly on them. Early on, we had an M&A strategy of acquiring smaller loss prevention companies, rolling them up and utilizing their customers to deploy our systems. We've moved away from that slightly because our focus with Prosecure and these large retailer chains, but we had this opportunity with securitytags.com come along. And there was a couple of things that really struck us well. They had a good customer list. They had customers in that list that they've sold ES products to that were a fit for the welcoming system. And it was something that could give us a revenue boost to help us continue to fund our own ongoing R&D and development of the welcoming network. Anything that can add revenue and add EBITDA just fits right in there. So it was a natural fit for us. And again, it wasn't a massive acquisition, but it was certainly accretive to our strategic direction and our revenues.
A follow-up question from Daniel Rosenberg of Paradigm Capital. With regards to your $20 million pipeline, sales pipeline, can you provide any additional color on that? Speak to any new recent additions to the pipeline, any other detail you could provide?
Yeah, I think Greg had mentioned that we've been working with the Prosecure sales team and making presentations with them. They've been quite aggressive in Latin America and also North America. So, it's just getting to the point of announcing some of these things is so frustrating sometimes, because we're in those trial stages and trying to get them through to contracts. I believe this coming quarter, we're going to be able to get announcements with a couple of them out the door, and that'll give you some more color. But the pipeline is bigger than it was last quarter. Nobody's fallen off. And if anything, we just feel it's in a much stronger position.
Question from investor Philip. Is INEO experiencing issues related to labor shortages?
Greg, you want to handle that one?
Yep, thanks, Kyle. Short answer to that is no, we're not. And the one thing I would have to say is Kyle and I have really focused on one thing above all with the company since its inception, and that is building a really great team. And we've done that. We have built a great team that's very loyal to the company. We haven't had turnover. We've been able to attract the people that we're looking for within the organization. And that's not an area that we're concerned with at all. Great team has really helped us build it to where it is right now.
And another question coming in here. Do you have any idea when you will receive DTC eligibility? That's for US listing.
Yeah, we're expecting it any day. Everything was, final documents were filed early January, and we were told 6 to 8 weeks, and we're right at that now. We checked in from last week, and there was a follow-up clarity we had to do on one document. So it's close, everyone. Apologize it's taken so long, but we're looking forward to having DTC eligibility soon.
Also, another question from Philip, just with regards to, it's kind of get a better understanding of the size of some of these customer rollouts. What's the number of stores you might have for a large rollout, for example, versus the Western Canadian grocery retailer you mentioned is a couple of hundred?
Yeah, so large rollout. The one that we're working with directly ourselves right now is a 1,500 store retailer. Prosecure's in retailers that are thousands of locations. They've also done some locations that are hundreds of locations, and similar to our Western Canadian retailer. At this point, we're not discriminating on size as long as they're big, I guess is the message there. But the more stores, the better. But again, we're going to be biting these off in chunks. Even if it was a 4,000 store retailer, we're not going to have 4,000 stores in a year. It's going to be chunks at a time. But the smaller ones, we can certainly deploy the bulk of their stores quicker.
Question from Safraz. Just with regards to gross profits in this past quarter has not grown as much as revenue. Maybe you can provide some more color on gross profit and going forward with regards to more of a SaaS-based model, how the gross profits will increase.
Yeah, the gross profits are so far still more affected by some of our legacy AES business. Shipping charges are through the roof on bringing in components and bringing in pieces right now. So I think our shipping charges are so high. We're expecting those to start coming down. We've been doing a better job of we're buying inventory in advance. Greg has built a whole business or a company around lean manufacturing, just-in-time manufacturing. But because of the part supply shortage, we're actually buying inventory in advance and getting it in a reasonable way, so we don't have to air these things in overnight all the time. We can get them in advance, but we're carrying a little bit more inventory because of that. That's been a big part of why the gross profit hasn't moved in lockstep. That will change as the advertising becomes a bigger portion of the revenue. The advertising will scale quite well. Our support costs on advertising are very, very low. The systems that we have in store, they just run. The technology behind them works. We built them so that they're monitored and they're self-healing in a lot of cases, and then the team can remotely administer systems without us having to put people in stores to fix them, to reset them, that type of thing. And so we will see that gross margin scale as the advertising revenue picks up.
And as Prosecure starts manufacturing and shipping and taking care of that part of it, how does that impact the gross margins?
Yeah, and that will help considerably as well, because then obviously we're not bringing parts in ourselves. We're not keeping inventory ourselves, and so they are a logistics company, if nothing nothing more. They're a very good logistics company, and they're going to be good at taking over that part of the business. And so as we free up from the hardware, fronting the hardware ourselves, the gross margins will actually move again in lockstep with the more revenue that we have that's just SaaS-based revenue.
We have a question here from Sam with regards to your 20 million sales pipeline. Just some clarity, that 20 million sales pipeline includes both the Prosecure and the direct sales, and just some color with regards to how is it weighted in terms of direct sales versus your Prosecure sales?
Yeah, good question. It is both, and it is weighted more heavily to Prosecure's endeavors. Ours fill in nicely with that, but they have more reach, they have more retailers and more locations.
That's all the questions that I'm seeing right now. With that, I turn it back over to Greg and Cobb.
Great. I appreciate the questions, everyone, and the time you've spent on the call. And we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you, analysts, for your questions too. Our shareholders, we want to thank you for your support you've given us. It means the world to us as we're building this company. We are working our hardest every single day to reach our potential and make sure that everybody that believes in us is well rewarded. So we wish everyone to stay safe, and we thank you and look forward to providing an update again next quarter.